Bobby. All right. So first of all, great to have everybody here. We are getting started with a really important training. I think one of the most important trainings you can have with any business, but especially in our amazing platform like we have Empower. And we have our one and only field president, the person who literally helped build this company and still onboards better than anyone I've seen, more and more people. So person I'm learning from every single day. I think some of the top leaders still try and learn every single day of what he does and how to duplicate it. And Bobby, you decided to come here and show us how to do this Q3, Q4, how to get more people in. So first of all, thank you for coming for this team training. I hope this recording is going to serve a lot of people coming in the next few months. Bobby, how you doing?
Good, Gigi. Thanks for having me. So, folks, let's get right to it. I'm honored to be here today as field president. And, you know, when I got into the direct sales industry, I was taught the industry by some no-nonsense, tremendous builders that were making six figures a month back in the, 70s. So I learned from the best, and I've tried to instill and enhance those principles. And it really, and I just want to let you know before we start, whatever you want to do is cool, right? There's no judgment. If you don't want to build a team, don't build a team. Sell solar. Let's get some CO2 out of the atmosphere. Our great announcement that we just made. And if you do want to build, whatever level you want to build at, whatever success you want to have, again, that's up to all of you. So Gigi, why don't we roll it and we'll get going, and let's have some fun, right? So, folks, this is a very special time in history, right? I hope you all know how big this is. If we were a publicly traded company, this month, I believe our stock would have doubled or tripled, this week, just because of this announcement. So when you're talking to people about the Power Platform, some of this is just going to be, and we'll talk about this, language and posture. You've got to have your language direct. You got to know what you're talking about. Our company is perfectly positioned in front of the biggest and perhaps the most important shift of wealth in the history of man and womankind. And this bill, we're hoping it gets passed, as it is, not only increases the federal tax credit and extends it, but it's a business plan for Power. And if you haven't watched Jonathan Budd's video on Pioneers about this, you need to do that. And you need to make sure that everybody on your team has done that, because we'll never be at this place again in our lives, folks. I'm a little older than some of you. We're never going to have this kind of chance, most of us, at generational wealth, because the collision, if you will, of platform economy and renewable energy, I don't know what else to say. So if I pause, G, just go to the next one. Yeah. So do me a favor, if you're a seller on this platform, go ahead and type your city and state into the chat bar, please. If you are a seller on the Power Platform currently, if you could real quick type in your city, just your city, that'd be great. Awesome. Anybody that's a seller on the platform, just put on your city and state. That's cool. It's unfortunate, but it's cool. Why is that unfortunate? Because here's who I'm really talking to. What's the difference there? The difference is your mindset. When I first started in direct sales, I brought in 5 people to my living room, my kitchen table, a few feet away. And they were prominent people. They were really successful. And my mentor came over and did a presentation because I wanted to put my board of directors together. We'll get to that. And he gave the presentation. All of them signed up. And I took him outside after the presentation, and I said to him, hey, it was a good day. I signed up my board of directors. Where the hell do you get off telling my guests, colleagues, neighbors, friends that you're leading the national expansion for this company? I signed the same agreement you did. What gives you the right? He said, Bobby, I told him I'm leading the national expansion for this company because I said I am. Everything changed for me that moment. Who are you in Power? Are you another seller on the platform? And if you are, that's cool. But are you the CEO of your own renewable energy company? Do you get the difference? People are still typing their cities and states. That's cool. The point is, who are you? What message are you conveying to people? People will follow you if they believe that you know where you're going. Posture and language. We'll talk about that. You have to determine. And again, either one is okay. Just decide who you want to be and what you're going to say. So there's some basics and fundamentals that we have to talk about because they're the cornerstone of you and everyone in your organization knowing what they need to know. Because as we're scaling, even myself, I can't handle the same amount of text and messaging that I used to. If people text me about this or a problem with an install, whatever, I can't handle that, folks. We put close to 900 sales reps on the platform this month, right? So how do you communicate with your team? How they're dialed in, that they're all on the Pioneers page. If I'm a leader in this platform, I am reviewing the newsletter with my team every Monday or whenever you choose to review it, because that's the heartbeat. That's everything that your CEO and your team is communicating to you. And if you're not reviewing it, if you're not reviewing it with your team, then you're just simply not in the game. If they're not on the calendar, if they're not focused right now on tonight's event, the launch of Massachusetts and Ohio, look out for updates today as the zip codes go live, right? And Power Day, the next big event in our company's history that no company's ever done before in the solar industry. So just part of the victory is just being dialed in. You got to be dialed in. Some people just don't give this the same respect that they give it maybe their full-time career or their job for whatever reason. You're the CEO of your own company, and you got to make sure that everybody's tuned into the messaging that they need to be tuned in on. So I also, some of you I've been connected with recently, and I look at people's Facebook profiles and their LinkedIn profiles, their social media profiles. You need to take a good look at yours. It's the first place that people look today. You can certainly look at mine, friend me, look at my LinkedIn profile, friend me. It's not about your last job. It's not even about your current job if you're doing this part-time. Remember, this is your pathway. Your job is not going to get you probably what you want in life. This platform can. So when someone looks at your background and your profile statement and your about section, what are they seeing? And if they're a solar customer, again, potential customer, whatever, first thing they're going to do too, they're going to look you up on social media. Would you do business with you? If your profile says car dealership or some paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs about what you used to do instead of what you're doing today. So I would strongly suggest, and again, we'll open this up for conversation when we're done, make sure that your profiles are updated, make sure it reflects who you are, who you want to be. Please look at mine, look at Gigi's, look at any top leaders, and make sure that yours is what you want it to be. This is a really important section too as we grow. Folks, again, I ran a nonprofit cancer foundation for 10 years before this. Every day, no matter what I did, every year, there were 50,000 people still dying, a stadium full of people, 1,000 people a week, 150 people a day. When I woke up in the morning, the 150 people were going to die by the end of the day from that disease. So my interpretation of what a challenge is a little bit different than maybe the way people look at things. Remember, you got to put your entrepreneur hat on. You got to put your big boy, big girl pants on, particularly if you're going to a new market. There's always going to be challenges. We're going to add zip codes. We're going to take away zip codes. We're going to expand markets. We're going to close markets in a little bit based on performance and incentives and installers. And it's just what you have to do when you're building $1 billion company, and some people don't get it. So if cancer on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is cancer, where does that challenge that you're having with your client land, right? There are going to be challenges. We're in the construction business. And if you can't own that, it's not going to be a happy venture for you. And you also have to understand that we're doing something that no one in the world's ever done before within the solar industry. So there's going to be challenges there. There just are. No way around it. And then part of that is how you communicate. We get emails. We used to get emails every day where there's 15 people copied, 6 members of our executive team. That's the easiest way to get blocked from an executive team member's email. Good news goes to your organization. downstream. Bad news goes upstream. One leader. Make sure, and Gigi will guide you, your leaders will guide you, whether it's pre-sales or post-sales or marketing or this or that, that you're not, anybody who sends an email copying more than a couple people is just demonstrating that they don't understand business. Unless it's like sometimes we send an email where every member of a different division of the company needs to see it, right? So again, it's just, you got to get good at communication. And even texting me some of the things that people text me, just got to stop. The only thing that I'm going to talk to you about 99 out of 100 times is how to build your organization and how to become a better leader. Everything else that you're texting me, stop. It doesn't work, right? There are just realities to what we do. And just, every Pioneers post is being checked now because people were putting silly things on there. And I look at them, and then we have members of our team look at them. So just remember what you're putting on Pioneers. If you need something like you're looking for someone in a certain territory, or you need a question answered. But if you're putting anything on there that's negative, we had people that were knocking a project manager or an operation manager. It's just not going to be seen. It's not going to get approved. It's not what it's for. It is for communicating important messages. We're not hiding anything. We're the first people, starting from our CEO, who is not going to pull any punches, right? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, but silly posts on Pioneers that have no value are just not going to get approved. So we just need to raise our communications game. We're raising all of our games as we scale to IPO and Wall Street. So we just need to get better, right? All of us, when we're all getting better every day. And then, of course, I'm a pretty bottom line guy. There's only one way to keep score if you're building an organization with Empower. It's the number of personal sponsors. I try and sponsor a person a day, even though I don't have an organization, Monday through Friday, and weekends I'll do a couple different things. The number of enrollments that are joining your team every day, the number of sales that you're currently making, how many did you make, and how many team sales did you make? And you may not have easy access to all the data you want, but you got to have these focuses on the board. You just have to. And I'll add a quick thing in too, because even in the early communications of this event today, get used to when somebody asks you a direct question, answer the question with the question. Sometimes, often when you ask them a question, they go into a dissertation about many, 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 many things. And none of it was really the question. The best way to answer a question in a professional manner is read back the question. Hey, Bobby, how many enrollments did you bring in last month? Well, the number of enrollments instead of starting off in some esoteric place or telling a story about this or that, what was the question, right? How many did you have? What'd you do? What was the victory? What was it? And use the question. It's a great tool to just learn how to teach your people how to even more properly communicate. And then, of course, how many referrals did you extract from each sale that you got as you're building your business? So remember, it's math. It's all data. When you're looking at Power, how great we are, it's mathematically driven. When you're looking at your organization, it's mathematically driven. Again, you're the CEO of your own corporation, and we're going to expound upon that in a moment. Here's what I'm working on. I'm working on January because that's the way I've been trained to work. It's my obligation as a corporate executive of the company. But if you're building an organization in Power, what you're thinking about is January. Because here's what I know. If you work backwards, right? We know that America is going to go brain dead from about December 15th to January 5th. Doesn't mean you can't sell the hell out of solar, get the last tax incentives in, get people to enroll in Power, tax break for this year. I get that. But their minds are going to be all over the place, particularly in the world we're living in now with COVID and this and that. And it'll depend upon snowstorms in the Northeast and all these other things and weather events and bowl games, depending upon which city and which state. Keep an eye out for football. But here's what I know. If you build an organization, you got to know, and you got to be thinking about strategically, Christmas to New Year, you're going to lose that momentum. You're going to lose 3-4 days over Thanksgiving. You're going to lose people over the Labor Day weekend, particularly as our company's expanding more now onto the Eastern Seaboard and the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. Because from Virginia to Maryland to New Jersey to Massachusetts, all these markets are going to be affected, not only by sports, by the start of football, by college football, by this, by that, but by weather conditions, and the mindset shift at the end of the summer. The kids are going back to school. The weather's changing. It's a beautiful time of the year. I love it. Start breaking out the sweater, cool clothes. Rob will be dressing fine, all that stuff. But what's your plan? Right? So you got, and we're going to dig in this a little bit. But if you want to know where I'm thinking, my mind is, what momentous events can I create within my organization after this, before that, to bring people out of that, to get them going after that, to get them dialed in before this? Let's expand on that, right? So, how do you do that? What is it that you do? So let's talk about that. So I'm focused on tonight. We've got two great guests on tonight, right? And we're launching two markets tonight, Ohio and Massachusetts. Everybody in power that's building an organization should have guests on there tonight. That's how you keep score. In my mind, every guest that's on there tonight should have already watched the video, already read the press releases. They're coming to that event in a decision-making mode, not a fact-finding mode, right? So it's how you prepare your guests for an event. And then after that, I know that JB is going to lay it down on Wednesday. He couldn't speak at the convention, fundamentally pissed him off. He is ready to roll. We just spoke. He's going to talk about the fifth stream of income. I know he's going to talk about 1 billion pounds of CO2. I know he's going to talk about the new bill that's signed. And here's what I'm doing. You do whatever you want to do. I'm going to get everybody that's on the fence, hasn't enrolled in power, hasn't made a decision yet. I'm going to get them there as my guest, framed properly. Jonathan's going to go on at about 2 o'clock Eastern. Don't text me or put, when's he going on? When's he going on? I don't know. We think he's going on around 2. And we'll know more as we get closer to the date, right? But right around 2 o'clock, he's going to lay it down. And if you have a guest on there that's been properly educated, on the fence, been to Monday night, whatever, there is 0 chance they don't enroll afterwards if you follow up with them properly. Then where do we go from there? Well, we go to the next Monday night. We got some rocking guests there. Just so you know, all guests from Monday nights are now going to be selected by performance. So there's no personality contest, right? It's by performance. Then it's the team events, right? What team events? Different teams have different events. And then we go to Power Day. Folks, Power Day was one of the biggest upticks in our performance in quite some time. It was just an idea, right? One day I get ideas, right? I had an idea. First, we had Power Week, where over a 4, 5, 6 day period of time, all of our leaders had their own private Zoom in the night, and I popped on all of them. And that was cool. And then I thought, wait a minute, why don't we do a Power Day? And we did one previously where there were 25 live events going on around the United States. It's super cool, right? No one had ever done it before. And we want to keep doing things that no one's ever done before. You got an idea about something that no one's ever done before, let's talk about it. So August 13th is Power Day, where everybody, which within an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of an event, they're all on your calendar. Gigi's hosting one. He hosts great events, as good as anybody in the industry. You got to get there. And the goal is to have guests there. And the goal is not only to have guests at the event in Florida, I put guests in the many of the meetings, right? So it's where you meet, it's where your guests go, it's where you get trained, it's what you do. So, and if you haven't done or participate in Power Day, you need to get to one, in my opinion. And maybe you want to have your own Power Day. If you're in a new market and we haven't had one there, I know some of you are working towards this, Jim, some other folks. We're going to talk about the private launch in a few moments. Melissa Dawson did one from her living room. Whatever you do is cool, but this is a live, not online. This is a live event. Okay, I've got some up my sleeve too that I'm hoping to announce very soon. So this is the one. I think there's some information in the chat bar. I haven't really been following it. My favorite topic. If I was one of the top direct sales professionals in the world, it was because of the private business launch. I spent probably 1.5 years when my children were too young to even know I wasn't there. I was out every night in someone's living room doing a presentation about that direct sales company. And whether it was 10 people in the living room, we attracted some pretty strong people. 50 people and a guy running for mayor or governor, 75 people at Congressional Country Club, wherever it might have been, whatever it looked like, or the backyard, Gigi's with a movie screen up. The private business launch is what built my business. A new person launching their business. Remember, you can start something or you can launch something. What do you think is more effective, right? So if you launch your business, if someone is who they say they are, I'm me. I know everybody. I'm God's gift to real estate, finance, this, that. I've heard it all. I've been doing this a long time, all over the world. Then why wouldn't do what that gentleman just did? Invite everybody you know to a Zoom. We're in a new world. People would rather do it by Zoom. Could you do it in person? Of course, if you want to. But pick a night 2 weeks out. I always like Sunday night because, America's done with their weekend. They're miserable back home, back to work. The kids are in bed. Everything's cool. Folks, it's free. It's time efficient. It's cost effective. It's duplicable, which means you can teach anybody how to do it. Look, if that Zoom that Gigi, we just did a couple hours ago, if there were 25 people on there and 10 people enrolled, what do you think those 10 people are going to want to do? They just watched it happen. They watched somebody put their board of directors together. You might be recruiting your first 5 reps. I'm suggesting you're putting your board directors together, right? So, and I do this all from my cell phone, folks. I don't touch my computer during the day, ever, unless it's a solar proposal. I've contributed to building the largest sales organization in the world for solar, private organization, from my cell phone, on hikes, by the pool, right from here. Because all the messaging that I send out is saved in my notes section. And we'll talk about that. So there's no need to get fancy. And if you do it right, they're coming there in the decision-making mode. They've already watched the video. I send the same messaging. They've already read the press releases. They're ready to go. Folks, if you master the private business launch, your group will grow 10 times faster than if you don't. 8 out of 10 people may not do it, whatever their excuse is. Even if they're just the average person, would you rather go 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1? Or 5 by 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. This is your time. Every time you do a personal with the old school 3-way call or do a call with an individual, it's time from your family or prayer or workout, your children, right? Why do it 1 by 1 by 1 when you do it 5 by 5, 10 by 10, 20 by 20? That's the key to the kingdom. Time efficiency, cost efficiency. It's the key to the kingdom. One day I had a private business launch, God, in my kitchen. 2 years later, I was teaching it in front of 20,000 people. The universe can take you anywhere you want to go. Remember, 8 years ago, somebody got me on a phone call. Somebody sent me, connected with me on Facebook, sent me some messaging I didn't dig, put me on the phone with this Jonathan Budd guy. We talked for a couple hours. He asked me to fly out. I met him in some dilapidated old building on top of a men's clothing store with creaky floors and busted windows. And today we're the fastest growing solar company in the world. Go figure. My process is real simple. As you know, I build on Facebook and LinkedIn all day, every day. Wife's asleep, in bed, hiding under the covers, out by the pool, by the beach. That's where I work best, by the beach or the pool. It's no secret. And it's not about pitching. I connect with people on LinkedIn. Connect. Go on LinkedIn, type in Solar Pro Ohio, boom. Solar sales looking. It's going to capture the algorithms. Go into Facebook, same thing. Connect with everybody, right? I connect with 10, 20, 30 people a day. And we have companies that you can pay. I pay them. LinkedIn services. Eduardo just joined. Charles just joined. Many people are on them, right? Gigi's a master at this, right? Connect. Then engage. Are you familiar with Power? Great to connect. Are you familiar with Power? They say no. If they're a solar pro, I copy and paste from my cell phone. Are you open to dramatically increase commissions and stock options as we scale to $1 billion IPO? Folks, if they don't respond yes to that, I don't want to talk to them. Are you open to dramatically increase commissions and stock options as we scale to $1 billion IPO? If they're a roofer, have you ever thought about adding solar to your portfolio? Maximize your revenue per client, right? So that second message, connect, short message to engage. Are you open to? Have you ever thought about? Would you be open to? May I send you some information below? And then I copy and paste the same thing all day from my phone. It's math. Connect with X amount of people, engage with X amount of people, message X amount of people, X amount of people enroll. Then out of those people, there's an 80-20 rule. X amount of people will do something depending upon you teach them, train them, guide them, and all those things, right? It's math. It's all math. It works. I do it every day. It's allowed me to sponsor 500 people in the power, including a lot of the big names you see. From the corporate team, Cami and Rachel, from the field, Bernasso, right? That one connection I did with Bernasso would have made me, I don't know, 20, 30 grand a month plus stock if I was an independent seller. Eric Garcia, connecting William Contreras. We can go on and on and on. Folks that are out there. Sometimes I feel like I'm standing at the end of the ocean. I'm fishing. I look to my right. I look to my left. There's nobody fishing. I'm saying, what the hell's going on? Why am I the only one fishing? It's math. Remember, at the end of the day, yeah, I think there's a few more. Gee, it's cool. So you got to start thinking about what are your September, October, November, December events? You know, what are you focused on? Right now, your team, your leadership. I know Gigi and I are talking about some of those events right now as we speak. Let's keep moving. So remember, folks, I look at power very simply. I look at direct sales very simply. You know, I look at it from a real estate and leadership development. It's what I've been doing with power since day one. I've been trying to find and develop and allow them to me to work with them and bring their incredible talents, the Robin Races of the world, the Luigis, the Aarons, all these amazing Jabari, all these people, all the amazing leaders that are bubbling up, the new leaders in Gigi's group, you know, all of those leaders. You know, I look at it from real estate. Whatever you can, if you can learn how to do it in your own market, then you can learn how to do it in the next city. That's what I did in Baltimore. When I first started my direct sales career, I had a meeting going on 5 minutes from my house. And then we evolved 5 more meetings within the state of Maryland. Got really good at that. And then I found the right people in Philadelphia and I opened up a meeting there. I was making $10,000 a month off a dentist in Philadelphia for 10 years, right? You never know who they're going to be. You never prejudge, right? And then I learned how to do it in Philly. So I did it in Texas. I found the right person, right? And then I did it in San Diego. And then I did it in London. I did it in Amsterdam. I did it around the world. So you got to become that leader, right? You got to learn the tools, learn the trade, learn the message, learn the posture, learn the language, get great, do all these things. And then the measurement's going to be how many cities can you do this in? How many, the world's your oyster. You can have whatever you have. Well, we haven't even started yet. You know, have you mastered the presentation? And there's always some people who say, I can't do that. I can't do what you do. I can't say what you say. Bullshit. Oops, sorry. Folks, I learned a long time ago when I was putting my children to bed at night that if I read the same story over and over and over again, you know what you do? And you turn the pages, what happens? They start reading it before you turn the page. If your infants can do it, I promise you, you can do it. You just got to start somewhere. Be the host, be a testimonial, step up, be at that event on Power Day, train something, get good at a training on something, right? Master something, right? Have you mastered the presentation? It's a slideshow. All you got to do is talk about what's on the slide, right? Are you confident? Are you confident in how to do that, right? In an online event or an in-person event, right? And then the big one is, right? How many, ultimately, your big play success. If you look at, if I've been able to accomplish anything in power, it's how many leaders are now running their own organizations in power and how many cities and how many states, right? I'm doing what I'm suggesting you do. You can do that as well. How many leaders like a Charles Thompson, like Gigi's done, in how many markets can you open, right? That's the key to of residual passive income. If you got $10,000 a month coming out of Miami and $10,000 a month coming out of Orlando and $5,000 a month coming out of Ohio and $8,000 a month coming out of San Diego, then boom, that's mailbox money in the days when there was a mailbox. Right? Are you becoming that leader and are you building them? If you build it, they will come. It's all about language and posture, folks. If Remember, I'm not debating anybody. I'm not going to debate power with someone. If a solar pro wants to stay where they're at, doing the same thing for a third of the money, God bless. If they want to stay in a deceptive and outdated black and white television red line model that has proven never to work with 25 years, 10,000 companies, 150,000 salespeople, and owning 4% of the freaking market, if that's what they want to do, then God bless them. Let them stay where the hell they are. If they don't get the fact that transportation and travel and retail and finance and everything in their lives has shifted to a platform, God bless them, right? I'm not in the convincing business. It's language and posture. They can't debate me. Redline has never worked. It never will. It's outdated. The world is in a platform economy. If you master the language and master the posture and add a work ethic, an undeniable work ethic, I will beat you because I will outwork you. I used to lay down the gauntlet. You want to work with me? Any of you want to work with me out there today? I dare you. You want to try and outwork me? Good luck with that. Good luck. Am I still going to take a 10K walk a day? Yeah. Am I still going to hang out with my wife every day? Hang with the dog, hang with my kids, have a great dinner, do all those things? Yeah. But I used to tell people, you may out earn me. I hope you do. But you will never, ever outwork me. Somebody asked me the other day, I was on a routine call with some dude from LinkedIn or whatever. I talked to him for half an hour. He said, Bobby, I'm just an average solar guy. Why are you talking to me half an hour? Because I ask other people to do that. And the only way for me to lead by example is to lead. There's only one way to lead, right? If I can't outperform all of you in what I'm talking to, then what kind of leader am I? If you're going to lead your people, you got to lead by example. There's only one way to do it. Follow Gigi's lead. So, which means tonight, there's only one way to keep score. How many guests will you have? And will they be educated before they get there? Will they be in a decision-making mode, or will they be in a fact-finding mode? That's the question. I will have my guests on there tonight. I promise you. And if you use Monday nights, if you use all of our events, and remember, I may not even mention this, you're working backwards. Your whole year is based upon working backwards from convention. All of you that were in Dallas, Richardson, this past couple of weeks ago, now understand this ain't your average show, right? From our gala, first time ever, to our training, to our recognition, to our culture, to our camaraderie, to the bad food that Robin raised to order around the bar late at night, to all that, right? Well, you're going to find out that you have to build back from conventions. That's how the pros do it. The people that don't get to them, unless it's health or something, you're just missing the boat. My mentor said very simply from the stage in front of 20,000 people, if you are not at the convention, you are just not in the business. And that doesn't mean start emailing us and saying, when's the next convention? Trust me, we're not shy. We'll let you know. Now it's about Power Day and studio events and masterclass and all those things. But the pros work backwards from convention. The pros are working in January right now. The pros are working backwards from there. The pros are leveling up their skill sets, mastering the language, mastering the posture, looking at the mirror and saying, how can I be better every day? Looking at this of how many leaders have you developed? How many cities are you in? Where are you going? Are you willing to travel those cities, support those people, build? I'd like to think that I'm friends with every top leader in this company. I'd like to think that they trust me. I'd like to think that I could babysit their kids. I'd like to think that they know that there's no chance that we would never have their back because they know what we stand for. And they know who we are, and they know we'd never let them down. You take a hit in power, there's a 90% chance we're going to make it right. Somehow, some way. If you act like you know what? God bless. Wish you well with another company. We handle challenges. Our entrepreneur spirit is what's key. How we communicate, how we move through challenges. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being cancer. Remember, we're in the construction business. Shit is going to happen. We manage hundreds of installers. Their businesses change. They lose employees. They get COVID. Folks, we're in supply chain issue right now. We're in a different world right now. The brilliance and the excellence that your company is maneuvering through all these challenges is unheard of in the industry. So you got to be a part of that. Be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. Anybody can whine. Entrepreneurs innovate. They invent. they create, they soothe, they heal, and they get up and they do it the next day, right? So I'm honored that Gigi had me on here today. His group, his dedication to what we're doing, him as a human being, as a leader, he epitomizes what this company's all about, as do many of you here today. So if you want to, we can stop the recording now, and we can certainly open up the chat bar, and you can put some questions in. I haven't seen any of them, and we can answer a few questions, have some fun, and rock it out. You want to kill
Bobby, I've been looking at the chat, no worries. I'm gonna stop the recording in a minute, but there's something here that needs to be told. This is a recording that I know my team is gonna use in the future as
Just
well.
want to make sure we don't lose everybody. If you stop the recording, they could lose the.
Oh no, we're good. Don't go anywhere, people. But here's the good part that I think is really important for anyone to understand. There's a short-term and a long-term plan in anything that you ever do, right? In life and business. And Jonathan Budd, our CEO, told us this in the convention, and I hope it rings to everybody. He said that the best leaders have not a 1-year plan, but a 20-year plan. And my question to you is, if you look at Solar today and look at our platform, where is it going? And then if you look at the short term, the fact that there's an event every single week that's dedicated for you to bring more people in, and then you have the CEO and you have the field president here coming to teach you and teach your team and train you on how to do it best. The positioning that we're in is to me the best IQ test in the world. It's either you do or you don't. And I'll be the first one to say this goes directly to every single person that's here with me today that worked with me in the past, either in sales or in building events, or one of my leaders right now, the Harleys, the Robs, the Peters. I'm going to tell you right now that I have probably made more mistakes than anybody else. And yet I'm here, and yet I'm winning. And the reason why is because there's always another person. There's always another LinkedIn connection. There's always another Facebook person. And all you got to do is model whatever Bobby is telling us again and again and again. Took me time to listen, I know that much. And simply put, do it on consistent basis. And we had Harley just now had finally opened his ears after a year that we've been chasing him down. His own mother finally brought him into solar, into power. And now you got 20 people joining his team in one day. So
boom.
It's about seeing this bigger picture. It's about understanding that you have an event of the best people in the company, not as late as just tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I hope everybody, please, somebody in the chat, save me and put it in there. But what is the link that you're sending to people? I hope you know this by heart. I wake up in the morning and I know exactly what's going on. What am I sending to people? What am I telling them to do? Because if I have the right person, the next Rob, the next Peter, the next Riza, the next person that's going to see the bigger picture here, I know that after they see the Power Hour or the Wednesday night or the next event, they're going to explode in understanding exactly what they can do in this company. And then the most magical thing happens. And trust me when I say this, I'm the stubborn Jew that wants success for himself first. So I went out there and I sold and I sold and I sold. But there's nothing better than seeing the next leader after you taking over, taking their stands, putting in the work, and all of a sudden you got to help another person explode out and get results. There's nothing better than that. In our last event in Florida, we had Rob and Riza come in suited up, and these people, you saw fire in their eyes. I mean, it was electric. And they said they're gonna master this, they're gonna make this happen, they're gonna explode. And look at them now. I was sitting in the convention with Harley, and he was looking at this and he said, this is eXp Realty 8 years ago. This is about to explode. And, not even 2 weeks later, now he got 20 extra people coming into his team and in one freaking meeting in 48 minutes. So the bottom line is, it's in your hands. You have the opportunity to build. All you got to do, follow this training, watch it again and again and again, like infants, make sure you know it in your sleep, master the presentation. I was so terrified. I have accent, people, and a heavy accent if I talk enough. And I can tell you it was terrifying for me the first time to do a presentation with power. This was what, Bobby, about 2 years ago I did my first one. And nowadays, all I look for is how can I learn the next presentation? How can I put this in front of enough people so I can find the Rob, the Rizas, the Aaron, the Chris, the next person that's going to take over, and they're going to learn how to present it themselves. And that's it. That's the name of the game. So I'll be the first stubborn-headed man to say that this training in itself, what we've just seen here, I promise you, is everything that you need in order to get a massive amount of results. And all you have to do is don't get yourself paralysis by analysis, get out there, start using it, put in the right things, put in the words, put in the messages towards LinkedIn. Bobby, I know you're going to send that to us, and start promoting. The more you do it, the more consistency you have, the more results you're going to see. And when you find that next person, I promise you're going to remember this training and say, thank God I listened. Thank God I did what I needed to do. And now you can enjoy this for a long, long time coming. So that's my 2 cents for every single person here, whether in my team or outside of it. It's about doing, it's about becoming a leader that finds the next leaders and that helps them grow, helps them get results.
Awesome. I'm just communicating with some people on LinkedIn. All right, why don't